Episode, Nobody Beats the House.
It's 11:59 at Radio Free America, and this is Uncle Sam with music and the truth until dawn. Right now, I got a few words for some of our brothers and sisters in the occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
Just throwing up a poll here. Let's see, am I in this thing? I don't know if anybody's gonna be out there listening. We're starting kind of late today. If you are, give me some feedback on the audio. All right, so every week we attempt to filter out the best stuff in 2A, and then on Friday we go live and attempt to relate that out there, do an update in the description of this video. We list everything, and then we post this over on our Patreon in a little nicer format to create sort of a weekly tally or a weekly list of the good stuff that happened throughout the week. And if it's useful for you, let us know. Starting a little late this week. Attempting to do it live anyhow. All right, so in the description of the video, I guess we can open up the screen a little bit here for anybody that's looking at the screen. It starts off with Firearms Policies video, pretty short video actually, 3 or 4 minutes only, on the what you need to know about New York State versus Bruen, which is the New York Supreme Court case, or I guess the Supreme Court case about the New York concealed carry situation. It's the current Supreme Court focus on our Second Amendment right, our Second Amendment protected right, and they did their audio sort of version of, I don't know what it's called, but anyway, they went there through their, I don't know what to call it, discussion. I don't think it's argument, but they went through their oral stuff, I think, and a bunch of people were listening to that. D23's out there, thanks. We're listening to it while simulcasting live. So this isn't that. This is just a 3-minute summary of the situation. The long story short is that people are taking New York State to court over its constitutional, or about its concealed carry May issue, basically. And Supreme Court is just going to be deciding on whether or not it's appropriate for a state to prohibit carry, concealed carry. And the nuts and bolts of that are that we'll see, it's anticipated to see the outcome in June of 2022. But for a concise 3 or 4 minute summary of everything that's going on, and of course what Firearms Policy Coalition's been doing about it, check out that first video on the list there. Basically also from FPC, but this time from that Fudd Busters channel. It was a video that's longer, but I still think it's just, it's not that long. It's not like a live video.
All right, so there's been a...
So that's a 6-minute video that talks about what is happening with the trigger from Rarebreed and the court case that everybody was hyped about. Let's see. So next up is Locked and Loaded Latinos had their Halloween show, but they did it on Saturday, I think. So it was sort of the day before Halloween. Decent show. Then you had just yesterday, just today, this video went up from Save the Second. So Save the Second is an organization that claims to focus on, well, it offers the fairest of outlook, or the fairest of view of the NRA situation right now, instead of just being the same old default bullshit, hate the NRA, except don't get paid by Bloomberg position that most people take, which is pointless. They take a position of what can be done practically, pragmatically, is that the right word, to do something about it. At least for a while they did, and then they didn't do anything. And they barely post videos. I don't remember the last one they posted. If they posted 2 this year, I'd be surprised. They don't really post. They posted one 5 months ago, 6 months ago, and a year ago. So they really aren't paying attention anymore. For whatever reason, they've lost their ambition. But they are talking about this book that if you click on this, you can buy it, and it's called The Misfire, The Inside of the Downfall of the NRA. And dude from Save the Second spends 3 minutes, not very long, 5 minutes, 3 minutes of it actually talking about it. The rest of the time, he takes a long time to say stuff. He's talking about this book. He's going to be interviewing this author on Monday, the 9th. He's corking this dude probably, unless you don't cut a show. I don't know what you think. But Monday he'll be interviewing Tim Mack, the author of this thing, and this guy, Save the Second guy, makes it sound like it's a worthwhile book to read. He said it's worth reading. Oh, what is this?
Thinking had actually saved the NRA from ruin. In the process of defending himself,
Am I allowed to do
he
this?
would leave behind everyone who had brought him there. If I lose every friend, he defiantly said, I'm prepared to do it. His insistence on saving himself over his cause, his friends, and the organization to which he had devoted his adult life would be taken poorly by those he had betrayed. It would lead, as these corporate blood disputes so often do, to high-priced lawyers. He was now surrounded by a pack of them, sitting uncomfortably in a boardroom at Shirtler and Honorado, a law firm specializing in litigation. Inside the law firm's imposing concrete and granite.
I'm assuming they're talking about Wayne LaPierre, but I read the book. So it looks like you can get it as an audio for $8. That's a ripoff. $15 is a Kindle, which I believe is fake, and then $25 for a real one, which is super expensive. So there's no way I'm buying it. But yeah, it sounds like it's an interesting one. Here we go. From the reporter who broke the story of the NRA Russian connection. What the hell is that supposed to mean to us? Oh, he works for NPR also, so you got that going for you. Misfire is a searching expose of the corruption and crookedness that pushed the NRA into itself into ruin. The non-stop revelations are told with the gripping detail and intimate insider knowledge. Anyway, so I'm not going to read all these stupid reviews because they look like they're all sucking up to the guy. I never heard of him. He can often be heard on NPR's Morning Edition, All Things Considered, and NPR Politics. But I can tell you, I've listened to NPR's Morning Edition and All Things Considered, and they can both go suck it because they're super biased and bullshit. It's really hard to listen to both of that kind of crap over there. So if he hangs out with those people, he's definitely warped. So I don't know. I mean, sometimes some such stuff is interesting to listen to, so you hear what the antis are doing, but this seems to me like it's a book written for the antis, not for anybody. He's not trying to do anything except make himself famous and give ammo to the antis, but that's just my opinion. I'm judging it by its cover. It's 384 pages. Seems like a lot of pages. You know, if anybody buys it, buy it off that Amazon link. I'll make like a fraction of a penny, and then if you read it, do a review on it and let us know. Because, I don't know, I'd like to trust dude from Save the Second. Seems like a dude, but he also got interviewed for the book, so he's biased, right? Super biased. All right, then we get Clover, this dude, doing a couple of things in the list today. But first one was having that interview with Ashley. Pretty interesting. So check that out. That was Monday. And then you get Gun Freedom Radio, Bleeding Blue. Oh, this guy. So this guy was kind of weird. I don't know if anybody listened to this one. Gun Freedom Radio, you got to roll the dice. It's almost always going to be pro 2A, but sometimes it'll be pretty politicky. They're definitely a big fan of Republicans and politics here in Arizona and nationally, so they're not as scared to drop as much AK stuff as I drop. They'll drop politics. They don't care about putting politics in their soup. So this guy comes along, and at the beginning, do I have a timestamp in here? I do.
The people that watch this great show go out and get signed up for the Flick Fest, because it's not about just my.
So this guy has a website, like a community, I'm going to call it, a system called Flick Fest, where, do I have a link to it? Where you can, I'm surprised they don't have a link to it. I think no, they don't. It's sort of a movie or video hosting platform for movies. So now I'll let you listen to this guy.
Black people are number 4, next to the American Indian. I hope thousands of people that watch this great show go out and get signed up for the Flick Fest, because it's not about just my film. It's not about enriching me. It's about changing pop culture. Hollywood should not be able to pick the winners and losers. Theater owners should not be able to say, I'm going to take your film or I'm not going to take your film. I made a great film. And I told this theater owner, I said, do you ask Spielberg about the content of his films, or do you just play them? So that's sort of a little bit of, behind the scenes dirty laundry that people may not be aware of.
Yeah, that might have not been the best clip, but I'd like this concept of this, like, taking over media, not letting others decide what agendas they want to push with, what they fund and what kind of movies they pop out, and through their distribution. That part was pretty neat. And then he got kind of crazy, and then they cut him off towards the end. So, it's not live, but they don't do a heck of a lot of editing, and they're not real worried about it. So it's an interesting video. The guy gets a little weird with, I don't think it was like FEMA camp type of stuff. I don't think it was FEMA camps. It was something else. But you could tell they were a little bit like, okay, well, now we're getting into more of your, like, extreme beliefs and opinions on stuff. So it kind of ended. But so the beginning of it I thought was pretty good. Kind of interesting interview. Threw it in there. They've been slowing down. I'm assuming it's because Cheryl's been traveling and whatnot, but we're seeing videos from them on less frequent pace than normal. Let's see, we got one from Dragonman, who 70-something years old, constantly posting videos all the damn time. So this is just to show his range off and the way he interacts with folks on his range. I think he had his pumpkins out there, and I don't remember if they were indicated which ones had tannerite in them or not. But just out there having fun, wasting pumpkin meat, and just showing off the range and how casual and laid back and safe and interesting the range is. So a lot of ranges have concrete benches that are shitty and get kind of spiders in them and are gross and you can't do nothing. This has these weird, like, picnic bench style ones, which are great if you're not fat. But what are they? Fiberglass? So these things probably work pretty good. They're definitely nice. You can tell he's putting some scratch into his range, having these shade little things up or sun things. His range is pointing west, by the way. We're walking north right now, and this is to the left is west. So that means at sunset, he's got the sun hitting down over the side of his range like we have here in Tucson, which sucks, but whatever. That would actually have been kind of cool. It would have been expensive. That's why he didn't do it. But he could have changed them, oriented them. Anyway, he bought a whole bunch of new land. It would have been cool to see Dragonman switch all his ranges to shoot north. All ranges should shoot north in North America, obviously. Like Whittingham Center. Pretty much everything at Whittingham Center, just south of here, points north, shoots into Colorado, basically. But look at this. This place is huge. And this isn't everything. This is just his main public range. Oh, man. And think about how do you see a bunch of, like, crazy range officers stuff? He's got range officers, obviously, but they're chill and everybody's legit. So it's just a regular old range. And you don't see enough of this. You see too much of this regimented Nazi range bullshit that fakes need. And I don't know. I don't like it. They get scared of stuff like this. Oh, look at this range. There's not enough Nazi crap happening. There's not enough, like, rules or, like, walls or stuff. This is how I grew up. This is actually a fancy range compared to where I grew up. So this, though, is what it's like when you go to a public range. And it ain't much different in the world or in the public ranges, I guess, or public places, public shooting areas. except that Dragonman ain't out there and nobody's sweeping nothing. And there wouldn't be benches, there'd just be rocks and logs and stuff. Anyway, pretty much worked his whole video, but I think that one's pretty neat. So if you get bored and you're depressed because your range sucks, go watch other ranges online. There's tons of them. You give them a view, you get excited, and it gives you a place to prepare a trip or travel to. So what's his face over here? Barbecue likes to talk about 2A stuff. So he did a couple of things this week that were in addition to his live stuff. Talking about complaining about his laws or whatever that are coming up in Pennsylvania there. It's always a good idea, right? Using our soapboxes and getting the information out there. He says stuff in here like PA constitutional carry, SB whatever, strengthen preemption. So his title is good. And then the description of it has Pennsylvania written, some pretty decent description of what he's talking about there, but I suspect it's just copy and paste on this GOA thing. Let's see. Oh, look, then he has all kinds of freaking tags in here. Short code for the bill, spelled out Pennsylvania Constitutional Carry Bill, like the boilerplate elevator speech version of it, then his own stuff. And he's #1 for some of these longer specific searches. It's pretty awesome. So yeah, think about that. He's out there doing it right. So now if somebody's out there trying to get some info on it or one of these other things like Pennsylvania Constitutional Carry, boom, he's creating content. I don't know how much time it took him to do that, but you can do it with less effort than he put into it for damn sure. I wouldn't put as much effort as he put into it and still getting the results out. Let's see, then he also had this Big Daddy Unlimited chat. So I don't know if anybody else is going to chat about this because Big Daddy gives people money. But what a farce. So Barbecue wanted to chat about this topic off of his live show. So he went live and spent 2 hours. And I think it was a good concept. I would definitely back it. And then he got Buckhead in there and started just bullshitting for an hour and a half. That part, wasted time. Like, shut it off and start a live chat if you want to waste time in the middle of the day, because you just alienated people. No one's going to watch a 2-hour video about anything, let alone this weird topic. But I like the concept. He went live just to talk about this concept topic, get it out there, thrash it out, and then have his live chat. Might have to talk about news of the day kind of bullshit. But this is definitely worth talking about, in my opinion, because this is the kind of repetitive bullshit exploitation that we have to deal with on a regular basis, on a cyclic basis. And if you don't pay attention to this stuff, then it happens 3 or 4 times before you do pay attention to it. And that means 3 or 4 people have exploited our community, wasted our time and resources, ground people into the ground, like literally removed people from the scene physically, or just being able to do it, having any interest in paying, being part of it because of exploiters like this. And then they went on Suck His Butts channel, whatever, Instagram, did this bullshit interview and started just sucking. I couldn't even watch it. It was so sad. So F those people, and thanks to Barbecue for doing a separate chat on it. We lose when we let people like that just ruin stuff, because they've paid people to ignore their bullshit, and they're going to be out there. Basically, they're the kind of people that pay both sides and then pay people off so that nobody gets mad at them for paying both sides. But we talk about this thing being a big ping pong game. It's people that win from both sides that keep the ping pong game going. And yeah, I'm glad that Barbecue at least spent a little time, because again, people who get paid by these people or anticipate getting paid by them will never bring it up. And we're going to lose because people aren't even getting paid. We got people that aren't getting paid by Bloomberg who are going to watch the NRA burn. And then we got people who want to get paid but haven't ever and probably won't ever get paid by these kind of exploiter middlemen losers. And then, again, we lose because people aren't going to really talk about the real topics because of their own censorship, right? Their own anticipation and greed. Whatever. So then we get Echo, who's the opposite of all that bullshit. He's not trying to do nothing for no reason other than sharing and using the ability he's got, the time and the interest in tech, and then the audience he's created to get 500 people interested in these interviews with different reloaders of various levels or experience levels or like levels of. Some of them are professional. I don't know how to say that. Some of them are professional. Some of them are amateur. Some people are just super interested. Some people are super aware or like super knowledgeable. And he's having a long form conversations with these people involving the audience. So it's live and he's using the live. And he's got AR dude, what's his name? AR Guns or something, who comes in and helps out as well. So they're just kicking ass. That's really what the internet's for, is the propagation of actual conversation and interest in topic and not some bullshit seeking fame trying to sell you bullshit crap. Awesome. So let's see, then we get Chris doing our CloverTac, or call himself, doing GunTuber Academy. He's got 2 of them up there. He's doing it for free. He should be charging people just because what's the point of it? But anyway, he's liking it. So he's got all kinds of good stuff over there. If you're good, go learn. If you suck, don't bother. It's boring. Let's see. Then he did his Halloween thing. Look at this guy. He isn't even paying me, and I've got him in here 4 times. Then you got G23. This guy did a Every Second Matters thing. I don't know. Not too many people did Every Second Matters this month. Cash did a live show. It was pretty good. He's been doing live chats now. He's learning what he wants to do for his live stuff, focusing on AK stuff. I'll probably end up being over there for a bit as I sell my stuff and watching those guys go live. And then you got Pot of Gold. They did another auction this last Tuesday, so we went live and watched a good chunk of that until Barbecue's not out here, but until Barbecue went live. So that's pretty much all I had a chance to check out. I didn't link to it, but I'll eventually put a link over here to the Instagram. I'll go check out some of that. Oh, my kick off Instagram now. What the hell? What's up with that? How come I can't get to Instagram? Is anybody Instagram broke, or am I kicked off Instagram? That's weird. Alright, I guess I'm still on Instagram. So what I do is I save posts, and then we look at those saved posts. There's Bob out there. Somebody feels like somebody kicked me in the guts, so this will go pretty quick. I don't remember where we ended. I think we did this one. I think I remember this one. So Appy Go. Is that how they're saying it? I don't know. Then you get this one. I thought was pretty good. It took me a second. I don't know if people know what the Tuttle Twins are. I think it's a bunch of books, or maybe it's more than that, for little kids, teaching them how not to be dumbasses or something. And this one's like capitalism, and it's got all these king size bars and stuff, and then socialism is your little bullshit fake candy bars that they give you on the 9mm size candy bars they give you on Halloween. And then it says capitalism, abundant choices, king size, eat until you're full. And then over here on socialism, it says fun size, honestly, you're still hungry. And I thought that was kind of funny. But it's also lame, so some kids just trying to trick or treat. It's no time to shove politics down their little kid head, so it's funny, but it's also stupid. Let's see. Rebecca Schmoy is posting, are you all ready for Wednesday? And she was posting this before Wednesday, I suspect. What are your predictions for what will happen? Y'all aren't seeing my screen glitch out, I'm guessing. My screen is glitching out, so it's pretty tough to read these little words. And I can't make them bigger because Instagram. Oh, I guess I can. All right, are y'all ready for Wednesday? What predictions will happen with this case? Are you hopeful or concerned about the large-scale implication depending on their opinion? So she's talking about the New York case, and I thought it was interesting, the awareness of some folks and the complete lack of awareness of other folks. And the awareness of some folks on what was happening this week, this upcoming week, and then the complete letting go and what do you call that, like crowd surfing and some of the other sons of bitches that are just going to go with whatever bullshit in the news comes up, and they go with the flow, so to speak. And that's just stark. It was stark this week. How many people were paying attention to what matters and how many people were just going to pay attention to what pays. Let's see. Crump had a cool Uzi patch. It must exist because I think I seen it on the patch wall in one of his videos, on the patch wall behind him. I'm not sure why the crease is in front of the magazine. I'll give him a pass on that. And then this little angle thing should be here. I'll give him a pass on it. But otherwise, it's pretty freaking good. I like that thing. It's a great angle. And then I think it helps out what's his face. So I don't have any money. Whenever I buy patches again, I'll probably get one of them. What was this one?
You can have it cool. Come drink Henny and eat a whole bag of shrooms. I'm stripping. I'm gonna be doing by this afternoon. I'll wait. Too late. We just got back. We back islands in Baghdad like we from Iraq. Got my bust my gat. I'm dyslexic. Now I'm just get shit off my chest. I'm bench pressing. 420. Smoking a pound on the bench stressing. Only answer if I'm being tested is next question. Cause I remember way back when shit was all good, the whole hood had Mac 10s. Bullets fly when it was time for that action. I made niggas break dance, head spin, back spin. 2 wide body Benzes, black tints. They dead looking like I called them the fat twins. Time to lock and load, nigga. Better strap in. Moose led the troops. To this day, he's the captain. Cause ain't no soft spots. We're killing all cops. Choppers hit the pigs when they bait getting pork chops. You ain't gotta aim great. You can be a poor shot. Just play the middle with a field like the shortstop. But when they stop short, you better pop off. There's blood everywhere. Hot sauce over dry pork. You see something, say nothing. Mind yours. Or your mind will be stained on that sidewalk. You see something, don't say nothing. Mind yours. Or your mind will be stained on that sidewalk. And I be tripping with no vacation time off. I'm sniffing super glue while I'm chewing rocks off. My tire ain't the type the cops watch for. Charlie the man down. Rockports. They look at me like I just came from school. They don't know I'm a real idiot, an angry fool. They don't know that I'm schizophrenic, bipolar fanatic, out of control, murder your family if you make me panic. Now pay attention. I got a little bit of math for you.
So that's Ed's manifesto. There's better shit on there than there is on Hollywood or whatever. This guy does a pretty good job from Gun Owners of America. So you got, each of the national level organizations is putting out info in different ways and through different channels. And Gun Owners of America is kind of both ends. They got the good, the bad, the sloppy, the loud, the nice, the organized, the everything. And one of them is this guy, Minuteman Minute guy. So this is 2 minutes on the Supreme Court case, the New York case again.
State governments have been infringing on the right of the people to bear arms for decades. But today could be the beginning of the end for all of that. Phil with the special Minuteman moment from the Supreme Court. Everyone is excited to be at SCOTUS today for the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association versus Bruen case. But let's be clear, Gun Owners America is the only no-compromise gun lobby defending your rights in Washington today. GOA, the Gun Owners Foundation, and Heller Foundation all filed an amicus brief, a legal brief to help the Supreme Court write a no-compromise pro-two-way ruling for gun owners. Some groups are actually here today arguing against the Second Amendment. Other groups want to legitimize unconstitutional processes like licenses for concealed carry or a background check before carry, or allowing only concealed carry but banning open carry and vice versa. GOA is here arguing that government has no right to impose a license and that your Second Amendment protects your right to bear arms however you want. And First Amendment legal tests don't apply to the Second Amendment because the Second Amendment is clear. We're not arguing for any nonsense anti-gun interest balancing test that empowers judges to decide if you get to exercise your God-given rights. As Justice Scalia explained, the Second Amendment interest balancing has already been done by the people ratifying the Constitution. The Supreme Court should use a test defined by then Judge Kavanaugh, text, history, and tradition. We're also here today cautioning the court should they rule in favor of the Second Amendment. As our lawyers wrote in our brief to the Supreme Court, great care should be given to the language of the decision so as to guard against lower federal courts working hard to circumvent and narrow application of this decision to future challenges, as those courts have done with Heller and McDonald. If the Supreme Court doesn't choose their words carefully, their decision might actually affirm certain gun controls, which the anti-gunners will seize upon to effectively nullify the court's ruling. But that's why we're here, to warn the Supreme Court about these things on your behalf.
So again, I think it's neat, and it's a great example this week to see the different angles that the, I don't know what to call them, content creators, people focused on Second Amendment issues, right? They're all getting paid at some level. They're all deciding what they're going to spend their time and attention on, what they're going to mobilize people for, call to actions about. And this thing is kind of a big deal. And we haven't, does anybody remember Heller? Do you remember Heller happening? Do you remember Miller happening? Do you remember Ezell happening? No, because our national level organizations just sat around watching it happen. And then after it happened, they did the exact same thing everybody bitches about the NRA. Then they all took credit for it, but they're all too scared and pussy to put their, my website, they're all too scared to call their shots, right? To say, hey, this is what we're working on. So this is the organizations each this week posting preliminary to the event, and then covering the event, and then summarizing the event. Yeah, I hear you, but I'm saying nobody was paying attention as they were going down. Very, very few people. I mean, they were changing the world, but we knew that, but we didn't understand it. No one was paying attention when they were happening. We just barely heard about them in the news because we're certainly more focused on other stuff, which I guess is kind of interesting. It would be interesting to think about where we're actually at today. It's easy to say, oh, it's not perfect, but are we better off than we were? Yeah, I suppose that we do have more voices than we ever have. And even though I'm about to say it's interesting to see how this particular guy, Phil Minuteman Minute guy, versus that other guy was talking about, FPC, what's this guy's name again? Bill Sachs, you know, I think these two are the most, let's just get the information out there and not waste everybody's freaking time saying it 10 times or trying to sell you a bunch of crap. This guy will pretty much make sure you know that GOA was involved and why they're doing it and what they're doing about it, which I guess you could say is a little bit of a sales pitch. He definitely includes that, which is freaking his job, so I'm not upset about it. This guy doesn't bother usually, but he's also just some lawyer guy. I think these two personally are the two best representatives for the two organizations, at least the ones I listened to, because again, 3 minutes, summarized it well after the fact. 2 minutes, summarized it and showed that as he's summarizing it, he's in DC, sitting on the Capitol steps with Heller, showing the alternative view from behind the scenes. Look how much additional information is being shown here. This is what it looks like when the antis do whatever that's called to force a perspective, to show or to make it seem as though, let's count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We can see 21 people. We can estimate that there's another 21, so they're making it look like 40 people are as many people as possible. They know to take their pictures up at these signs and across, right? And they know where to put signs to block where you have to assume that there'd be people. This is strategic. This is awesome effort. And I don't think it's accidental just because of how slick or how like professional, I guess, their production values are. So I'm pretty sure that they intended to get a lot of information. If they didn't, they could have just sat in their room somewhere like the rest of these guys all do and talk about it. But they got off their ass and went there to experience it and to archive it and to show everybody. So, you know, they're making $6 million a year. I think they're spending it. You know, it's evident where they're spending it, right? Then you get these people. I wonder how much they're making. That'd be interesting. I didn't look them up yet. Shit, I'm gonna have to look them up whenever I get more time. You can look up how much money any organization that pays taxes, any nonprofit that pays taxes, on that link that I found that one time. So I just forgot to look this one up. They can't be making that much money, but I bet you they're making some scratch. They're supported by every suppressor manufacturer pretty much. Anyway, let's not forget them. I like to include them when I can. They're not perfect, but they're the only ones out there that are specifically focused on hearing protection all the time And I don't know what this one's so good about. I just saved it for some reason. This one is from a place called RTG Parts, and well, Cash is out there, so he'll appreciate it just because it's a cool picture or whatever. But so you can be a store and sell stuff, or you can be a store, sell stuff, have an awesome warehouse like this with a shit ton of awesome crates, and then take a gun out there and take your picture with a bayonet on it in front of all these crates. That's pretty freaking cool. So it's a German bayonet on a Polish gun, whatever. We'll give them that, right? But it's still cool. They could have just put this on a piece of fabric or in front of a piece of white paper in some corner of their warehouse or something. Instead, they're taking a badass picture like this one with 3 loaded magazines. So let's not forget that you can be authentic and real, or you can be fake and try to sell stuff to suckers. What do we got over here? So SHOT Show. Let's not forget about SHOT Show.
You know, this is where the industry is showing off all their new stuff for this season. So for us, it's important to get here, see it, get our hands on it, get it ordered. I mean, it's pretty exciting to get to come here and sell the new stuff every year and see our reps and get our hands on that new product. So it is an important show for us.
There's literally everything. I mean, we just walked in and I've seen everything from guns to targets to gun cases, safes. So really anything you need in the industry is here.
So SHOT Show is trying to get people to go there, right? And I don't know. I imagine they're probably trying to talk people into going. I don't think they're trying to remind people or like introduce themselves to anybody. I think everybody knows what it is. I think what they're trying to do at this point is just get people to participate and not to be wishy-washy about it. So it's pretty cool. But here's my thing. Let's remember that if it's not your first year at SHOT, you don't have to do what everybody else did. You can do what you want to do. I don't know if Bob's going. Let's assume Bob's going. You can do what you want to do. You can cut new ground, right? You can do what you want to do at SHOT Show, cut new ground. You going to SHOT Show, Echo? It'd be cool if Echo went to SHOT. Do we know any reloaders? There must be reloaders to go to SHOT Show. I think that's illegal. It's allowed. I don't think we've known any people that are reloaders that go to SHOT Show ever, though. I thought this was pretty cool. I'm guessing that they just wing them up there, but I'm guessing it's also like a shit ton of people probably just climb over because of that distraction right there. And then what do we got here? Oh, this is, I don't know why I posted a lot of Ed stuff. This is a drone that has a piece of wire on it, and they found this on a modified aircraft crashed on the roof of a building next to a Pennsylvania power substation. So just if you're going to get worried about stuff, get worried about actual authentic stuff and not bullshit stuff that they tell you to be worried about. There's actual stuff you can get worried about, or you can realize that there's always been stuff to worry about, and the real deal is moving on without being hindered by every possible thing that you could be worried about. Let's see, now I'm just scrolling through, I guess, see if anything good. Probably not going to be anything good. It's Friday night, usually don't post stuff. Good people don't post good stuff on Friday night. There's people seeing this one. This one's been going around. I get in trouble for posting this one.
And it makes a big difference to tell the American people the truth about what our options are in their music war. If tomorrow the order goes out from the President, I'm President of the United States, I issue an order, end the war today, begin to withdraw all American troops. It will take a year to get the American troops out. You hear me now? That's the truth. It will take a year to get them physically out. Now, if you leave all the equipment behind, you might be able to do it in 7 months. And you leave those billions of dollars of weapons behind, that promise they're going to be used against your grandchild and mine someday.
It's a freaking sitcom, and we're just sitting in the audience, so I suggest you get the fuck up and get out of there, because it's a waste of time. That's just junk. So, the content creator formerly known as Budget is making these patches out of leather with some sort of laser. Pretty interesting. Doing a pretty good fucking job on that. Got Oleg Volk up here. If people don't know who Oleg Volk is, this dude was born in Russia under communism, I'm guessing, or some kind of remains of communism, and then moved over here, appreciated freedom and guns as a representation of it, and he's a photographer. So you've seen his pictures all over the place. People rip off his pictures constantly since before the days of the internet, really. And every once in a while you can see he doesn't have that many pictures posted, because I don't know how he does it, but he'll just delete his pictures and post new ones and change things out. He kind of goes through phases and fads and stuff. So if you're not following Oleg Volk, I highly recommend it. Super cool dude. He's like, I guess, a Russian, I think. And like I say, his story is interesting. He was one of the people that got me to do stuff on the internet, period. He's been doing stuff for a long, long time. When I was working at AOL, I was looking at Oleg Volk shit and going, oh, I should do stuff online. This is pretty neat. So super cool dude. And I've met him a couple of times. He's a nice guy. Guardian, here's something, like I was saying, do something different at SHOT Show. Guardian is doing this thing where they did a scavenger hunt. They stuck these stickers around. I'm not saying stick stickers around unless you own the property. Don't do things that are going to get you in trouble. But they're sticking stickers around, and I think these were worth like 2 free match registrations. Another one that they did was $200. This is another free registration. This was $100 sticker. So if somebody found that sticker and told them about it, $100. I forget what this one was for, but basically they went around, I think, to the place that they're doing this event, and they stuck these stickers around, and then like a scavenger hunt, I guess, whatever it's called. And then when people found them, they win prizes. That was pretty neat. I don't know if I'm gonna scroll through this forever. You can see Oleg Volk just posted like a bunch in a mass, like a whole bunch of them. So I don't know what his strategy is. He just posts them every once in a while. All right, well, that's enough looking. It's mostly gun shops and that kind of thing. So with that, we'll wrap it up. It's almost an hour. Thanks again for joining late, for the people that did show up live. Hope everybody's having a good evening. If we didn't have any orders from the store to speak of, I don't think, so there's no real free patch Fridays or nothing this week. Thanks to the people that have been purchasing stuff over on eBay, and people that keep the fight going when it's easier to give up and not do that. So, anybody's got anything else? Echo saying he hasn't been to Vegas since the 90s. See, I'm right here, so it's easy for me to get to Vegas. I guess I probably wouldn't go to Vegas if it was a pain in the ass to get to Vegas, but it's like 8 hours away, so it's a pretty decent drive. And since they do SHOT Show there every year, I end up going there. Bob's been scouting trails, I'm guessing for hunting. No one was broadcasting the cases. I don't know if I'm sure C-SPAN was, but obviously there wasn't the internet we had today or nothing, so it wasn't the same kind of community as we have. And that's something, like I was saying. So back when I was thinking about that, I might actually do a mansplaining on let's not forget where we come from and how boring it was back in the 90s. We were definitely all witnesses and observers to what was going on in the 90s. It was really difficult to be on top of things. I didn't even know it was possible to be on top of things, quote unquote. So we live in a different world than we ever did before. All right, well, so with that, I don't think anybody's live right now. No. But if you want to go look at some stuff, Cash is out there right now. He had a live show earlier today for 2 hours talking about AKs and stuff. It looks like they went shopping for AKs. That's a couple hours worth of decent content. He's spending a lot of effort making his chat look good. You got Gizzard doing a chat about Wanamaker earlier today. That's another couple hours worth of listening and watching if you want. Probably can listen to these more than anything. And then Echo had a chat earlier also, hour and something, hour and a half, chatting about Quest for the Perfect Load. So if you're out there right now and you're still interested in hearing something real, authentic, and live, there's 3 options for you. If you're going to be out there tomorrow and you're looking for something to chat about or whatever, G23 doesn't post his stuff right there already. So come on, go over here and recommend listening to this dude's late night chat tomorrow, because he'll end up chatting about guns and Second Amendment type of issues. This dude will not. He'll talk about meat and things. And then in the very evening, come on, you'll get a chat about, was it about Kalashnikovs this week? See what happens when you post your shit way ahead of time. I got to scroll way far back to find it, and that's why it doesn't show up in people's feeds. So might be fun and convenient for you to post your stuff way ahead of time, but that's why you don't get a bunch of people showing up. That's why nobody shows up to this show. That's what I blame it on. Is because I post this thing on Tuesday or something, so it's on anybody's feeds, or at least it's in their feed from Tuesday. So anyway, if you want to talk about AKs with Foss, then that'll be on the overnight tomorrow. So you only get that every other week, and if you want that fix, that's tomorrow. All right, with that, we'll say thank you for watching and listening. See you, Bob. Have a good one. And, well, I guess I have exit stuff here. We'll get back to pick you up later. Wizards out there, right?
Thank you for supporting our projects. If you'd like to buy us a cup of coffee, check out our Patreon channel.
The guys and gals of GunWebsites.com encourage you to take a CCW class every year, practice at least once a month, and carry every day. Thank you for watching GunWebsites.com.